Hi there, and welcome to this BPA training video. In this particular video, we'll be focusing on working with insurance and patient payments within the billing portion of iPatient Care eCairo EHR. Now, if you haven't already, we first of all encourage you to watch our billing overview video that provides excellent background of the whole billing process. But as mentioned, we'll be looking at payments in the system, and it's relatively straightforward, easy to do in this software. And there's two main areas that we'll essentially be in. If we go over onto our left-hand panel at the side here, under billing, and then under the payment subsection, primarily we'll be looking at the payment list area. This is where we put in the insurance and patient payments, and also the ERA posting area. Of course, ERA stands for Electronic Remittance Advice. That's where those payment files that come from the connected clearinghouse can be posted even more quickly in the system. So we'll look at that as well. But we'll begin in this payment list area, which I actually already have open in front of us. Now, this area essentially includes a list of all the payments in the system, which you will see in this main window down here below. And you can see how it's organized. Each payment that's been put in is assigned a unique number. The higher that number, the newer the payment is. We can also see under the type column whether it's an insurance payment, a patient payment, or even a refund payment. We'll see the dates associated with that, the payment methods, check number, and so on. But over at the far right, we'll see more details about the numbers. So how much was the payment or refund for, how much has been posted, and what is left unposted. Now you might notice in the middle here of this section, we have some color coding too. We have the red lines indicate that there's some unposted balances. The black lines currently have been fully posted. It's just a nice visual you can establish and set up yourself under the color settings in the software to make it easy to see what needs to still be worked on. Additionally, as we've shown in previous videos, we have this orange area here where we can put in different filters and save templates to show just what we want to. For example, I'll show you one template I've made is unposted balances. So instead of seeing payments we've already posted, if we just want to see what we need to work with, we could click on unposted balances, and it essentially hides the payments that have been fully posted out and just shows ones that need to still yet be posted. And just to show you what that looks like, if I click on this orange bar, you'll see that's unposted is greater than $0. But we can go back to the default look and view here without any filters applied. Okay, let's now try putting in an insurance payment just to see what this process looks like. At the very top here, that's where we'll click on insurance payment to put in a new payment. And the top half has data that we need to put in. We can select the date or change that if we need to. A key component is actually selecting the insurance carrier. Now you'll keep in mind that you need to make sure this carrier you select is an exact match to the one the patient has that you're looking to apply the money to. Some clinics may have multiple versions of some carriers entered in, so just make sure that it is a match for the payment to apply. Then we, of course, put in the dollar amount. We'll just put in $100 in this case. You can change the payment method to any of the options here. We'll leave it at check. And then, of course, a check number needs to be put in here too. Now, down here in this bottom half, this is where we need to queue up the claims that are related that we want to actually post this money toward. Now you could, if you knew the claim number, you could just type that in here, but chances are what's going to be most helpful is using this search claim button. So I'll click on that. And this will actually help us find a claim that matches that insurance carrier. And you notice if I click on this orange bar, there's an automatic filter applied for us. So it's looking for insurance that equals the carrier that we've made this payment for, and that the insurance balance is greater than $0. So it automatically makes that filter for us, and then it shows us the results. You can select a number of claims that would be appropriate to connect to the payment we're putting in. I'll just select the first two here and hit save. And you'll notice now we've queued up those two claims down at the bottom and in a sense connected it to this payment. But of course we haven't applied any money yet. That'll be the next step for us to do. What we can do to accomplish that is at the right hand side, you're going to notice these arrows, and if we hover, it says Open Payment Posting. So that's essentially where we'll click that, and we can get into the details of how we apply this money out. Up above, we see information about the patient themselves. We see the CPT code and the line of information. Now we can actually click into the dollar amount for the paid area to designate how much of the funds we want to post here. So we'll say $50. We can put in adjustments as well, adjustment codes. Now you can't actually click into this dollar amount field. Instead, to actually put in an adjustment, you have to click on this question mark here. And then you can select one of the existing adjustment codes you might have in the system. So you would simply click on it, and over at the right hand side, put in whatever you would like the adjustment amount to be. Or alternatively, if you want, you can mark certain ones as favorites to make them easier to find, or on the fly, simply put in a code that you would want to make as an adjustment and then put in your dollar amount. I'll just do that here quickly in this case, and now you'll see that that adjustment has been entered in. A very key component now to this process is up above. Once we've posted this payment, what should the responsibility, or who should the responsibility flow to next? And we have P for primary, S for secondary insurance, T for tertiary if it applies, or PT for patient. So we need to indicate who should the next responsible party be. And that's very important to make sure statements work correctly in the system. So we'll just select one here, and then it can indicate that. Now, once we get the service line posting exactly the way we want it, we can move on to the next claim that we've connected to this payment by clicking on the next button at the bottom. And again, do the work we need to in here, putting in the payment amount, the adjustment, who it's being billed to next. And once we're done and completed all of the claims, we can click the OK button, and we'll see the results from the work we've done. After putting in the $100 total payment, we can see we've posted so far $90, $10 is unposted, and we can see how that's reflected down below in these claims. Now we can always go back and make adjustments going into these particular claims. We're adding more claims if needed. At the bottom here though, we'll say we're done by clicking OK. And we'll see what that looks like. We have this top line here from the insurance payment that we put in. And you can see again how much has been paid, posted, and unposted, and it's still glowing red, or red text rather, because of the unposted amount. So that's how we work with insurance payments. Next would be patient payments. To work with the patient payment, we just go over to the right here and click on the patient payment button. Very similar, we can put in some dates up above, but of course a key component here is selecting the patient to connect this to. So we can look up a patient in the system, and once we select them, you'll notice it'll pull in some of their data, and we can select how much their patient payment is for. It is worth noting that we take the same process for cash pay patients or patients that have insurance. We do need to enter in a patient payment, and still at the bottom here, connect it to a claim. I'll look for a claim for this patient, again by clicking on the claim button. As part of this search, again, it automatically applies a filter here. It's looking for a patient that equals the one we've put in for this payment and that has a balance greater than 0. Again, that's really helpful for us to find quickly a claim that would apply. In this case here, we see a particular claim with a balance, and we can hit save. Now we have a new button that comes up here. You'll notice auto post payment. So we can actually use that particular button if the payment is greater than the charges. That money, the payment money, will flow in and essentially apply everywhere it can for us. In this case, the rest of the process is really the same as an insurance payment. We would click on these arrows at the right, go in and put in the payment details, and essentially hit OK to save what we've done. So essentially the rest of the process is the same as what you've already seen. So hopefully that provides a nice overview of putting in insurance and patient payments. As mentioned at the top right, we also have an area where we can click on refunds to put those in. If I click that button, you'll notice there's a drop down for insurance refund or patient refund, and those do just as they sound. If we click on insurance refund, again, it's going to be a similar window to an insurance payment. We select the details and put in the amount and are able to select a claim to put a refund towards. And the same process is found when we select a patient refund. We've been able to look at putting in manual insurance payments and patient payments, but we want to see the automated way. To do that, at the far left-hand side, if we go under billing and select again payment and ERA posting, this is the area where we can automatically post insurance payments that come through essentially the clearinghouse. Now we have a demonstration system here, so all we can see is existing or already posted ERA files, but we can look and see what it will look like here. You can see again we have a status at the left-hand side. It'll tell us if it's been posted or not, which insurance carrier, how many are within it, the total, how many have been posted or unposted, and we can see other data, of course, the amounts and the dates that relate to that particular payment. Now, if we were to click over here at the far right-hand side, there's this preview button, and that will show us the EOB itself. It's so helpful to actually view the EOB. We can see details about it before working with it any further. Now, once we have this payment file, again, these just load up in here. We didn't have to make them or add them in. When this is connected to the clearinghouse, these will just automatically flow in. But once we've looked it over and it looks like we wanted to, we can check the checkbox at the far left, and then at the top right, click the Post ERA button, and we could go through and post that. Now, we've already posted these. As you can see, this is a demo system. We don't have any new ERA files, but once that's been done, at the far right, we have this Details button, and we can see what we've done, some more information, and we'll see details show up at the bottom. And you notice we can even have some filters here in the middle regarding if something's been fully paid, it'll be in green, partially paid, or so on. And we can actually click these boxes and it will update the results down below. Well, that's really the crux of the payment information or applying payments in the system. This brings our video to a conclusion. We certainly hope you found this training on entering these payments and applying them helpful. Thanks again for watching.